Subscribe to our channel, press the bell icon and never miss an update from Latestly.
I must compliment joining my other colleagues to the entire team, Government of India, in doing what seemed impossible at one particular point of time. Having said that, Honorable Deputy Chairman, sir, there are two very specific queries. I just wish to understand, because Honorable External Affairs Minister has been a career bureaucrat and a fine bureaucrat. Did we read the emerging situation a little slowly? That I want to know. And second, are we willing to look at the fact that this geopolitical rupture between Russia and Ukraine, it is resulting in realignment in our own neighborhood? Are we watching it? I'm sure you must. Thank you.
Days were there when conflicts like this happened in the world. It was India came first to pacify and make compromises. The leader of the non-aligned movement, India, took the lead. Now what happened now? In the General Assembly, United Nations, in the security also, we have failed our duty. We have failed our duty. India has failed our duty. India has not done its duty.
The period leading to 24th February, the political signals were confusing as well. I would ask the Minister, was this a reason for the delay in the evacuation? Actually, the first advisory was given on 15th, and other countries have taken serious actions and steps to evacuate their nationals. Did we confuse the signals, and was it the reason for the delay in the evacuation?
Thank you.
Second question, sir.
Only one clarification.
Sir,
there are other people
one
also.
Small one,
Please.
sir. Small one. Sir, there's a bleak future staring at the faces of the hapless students. Yes. The minister hasn't mentioned anything about this. Will he come out with a clarification?
Thank
The challenges posed by the serious ongoing conflict, we have ensured that about 22,500 citizens have returned home safely. 22,500. The House would recognize the complexity of the various endeavours that have made it possible. Allow me to share them in some detail. As honourable members may be aware, a tense situation between Russia and Ukraine erupted into conflict on 24 February 2022. The root causes for this are complex, going back to a range of issues, including the security architecture, political governance, and interstate politics. To that was added the challenges of implementing understandings reached earlier. What is pertinent to note is that hostilities placed the Indian community of 20,000 plus in direct danger. Even while we were participating in the global deliberations of this evolving situation in the UN Security Council, the pressing challenge was to safeguard our citizens and ensure that they were not in harm's way. At the direction of the Prime Minister, we launched Operation Ganga, thereby undertaking one of the most challenging evacuation exercises during an ongoing conflict situation. Our community was dispersed across Ukraine, posing its own logistical challenges. The exercise was undertaken at a time when military actions, including airstrikes and shelling, were underway. It involved movement in a war-torn situation in a large country, at times lengths over 1,000 kilometers, and it required exiting borders clogged by an estimated 26 lakh refugees. The entire exercise involved a whole of the government approach, with the Prime Minister himself chairing review meetings almost on a daily basis. At the MEA, we monitored the evacuation operations on a 24/7 basis as well. We got excellent support from all the concerned ministries and organizations, including the Ministry of Civil Aviation, the Ministry of Defence, the National Disaster Response Force, the Indian Air Force, and private airlines. There was effective coordination with state governments in ensuring that arrangements made by them for return of Indian nationals to their respective states once they landed in Delhi. In line with India's principle of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, foreign nationals were also evacuated from conflict zones and brought to India. They included about 150 citizens, actually 147 to be exact, of 18 countries. Among them are immediate neighbors like Bangladesh and Nepal. Many of the Ukrainian nationals that are family members of Indian nationals have also been evacuated. We also provided free passage to Ukrainian nationals from India to Poland in our evacuation flight. When an embassy tells students or Indian nationals, saying if your stay is not essential, consider going back home, it is not something that is done lightly. It is something that students take very seriously, that other nationals also take. But I would like honourable members to understand the problem that the students faced. I have with me a list of universities. We approached, I don't want to take the name of the universities, but there was one big university which would not convert the mode of education to online, and in fact said that if anybody leaves at this time, they are jeopardizing their degree. There's a second university which said, I'll give you only online till February 25. There's a third university which said, I'll only give you for 2 weeks. One of them said, I'll give you till April 1. One of them said, I'll give you till May 1. Now, it is not correct.
Please,
No,
please.
look, the students have a future. The students have a future. I care about it whether you do or not. This is not correct. So, the fact, sir, that all the honourable members should appreciate is that students were actually not encouraged, in fact positively discouraged by the universities from leaving, and this was part of the process. The second issue, when I said confusing political signals, it was not confusing understanding. I'm not the person who is giving signals. I'm the person receiving signals. These signals actually came from the politics of that country. I will, for example, with your permission, sir, read out what the president of the country was saying at that time. He was publicly saying, President Zelensky, please don't be alarmed. What we should prevent at any cost is to prevent a spread of panic. Now, what was happening for students living in Ukraine was they were watching Ukrainian television. They were reading Ukrainian newspapers. They were seeing signals from the Ukrainian government saying, no, don't get alarmed, don't leave. In fact, you had leaders who were saying anybody leaving is contributing to a sense of panic. So I think, and we should also understand, sitting here, it is very easy to pass judgments saying you should have done this earlier or you should have done this faster. Please understand what was the situation of the students. The students, who do they listen to? They listen first of all to the university. They listen to their student advisors. They listen to the local government. They listen to other students. They talk to their families and say, should I come back or not? But having said all that, let us also recognize about 4,000 of them actually returned due to our advisories. So please think that through. If our advisories were of no use, why did 4,000 people come back? The fact is, advisories impacted many people. There were also others who were in a predicament, and because of that predicament, many of them put it off. In fact, on the day the fighting broke out, there was actually a plane on its way, which we had to call back. So today, to make this very sweeping judgments that you should have done that or you should have done this, I think it is most of all, forget the government. We are used to criticism. Please think of the students. Don't tell students who are in that situation that at that time their judgment was wrong. I think they did what was they thought right under the circumstances, and we should not second guess them at this time. In fact, from our side, we also increased the number of flights at that time to encourage people to come and to reduce the cost of the flights back home. The second issue, which was raised by Honourable Leader of Opposition, was regarding this unfortunate case of Naveen, and I've said it in my statement also. We will ensure that his mortal remains are brought back to this country. At this time, there are some processes at play. I don't want to share too many things at the moment until the picture is a little clearer. But I want to be very, very clear to the House through you, sir, that we will make every effort to bring back his mortal remains. So that assurance I am willing to.